First of all, thank you all for 100 subscribers. I was really hoping to push this milestone for a while despite my very inconsistent upload schedule. However, I'm glad y'all rock with my content. From the thousands, hundreds, or even 16 of y'all who watch my videos, I sincerely thank you. I honestly didn't think it would take that much work to get here. Thought I could get to like 1,000 subs in a year, but man, life got hands. However, due to the support of all my friends, I was able to make it. This channel would be nothing without them. Let me give them a quick shout out real quick. So once again, thank you, and now let's move on to the actual video. So 2025 was a great year for gaming. A lot of great games came out that year, including the all-successful Clair Obscur Expedition 33 sweeping the Game Awards. However, what if I told you this wasn't the best game that came out in 2025? There was a game that was a bit of a sleeper hit. It shocked me how addicted I got into playing it, even to the point of enjoying it a little bit more than Clair Obscur. However, it wasn't even nominated in any Game Awards. Kind of strange, isn't it? So Digimon Tantra came out and I kinda didn't care.
I don't care.
Look, I had not played a Digimon game since the Game Boy days. However, this one sort of grabbed my attention, mostly because it wasn't just a port of an old game, but a brand new title going back to its more traditional JRPG roots. Also, the game had a demo with cross-save data available. Developers, if you want more people to play your games with 1,000 hours of dialogue, make more demos with save progression. So I tried the demo after hearing a lot of great things about the game, and I generally could not put the game down. The way the combat flowed was nice and fast-paced enough that the battles didn't feel like a slog to go through. The story also has a very interesting opening act that kept me engaged with it and wanting to know more about what was happening at the time. Also, these cute little guys talk to you. Kinda scared me at first because I'm so used to Pokemon. But man, look at Patamon, dude, it's so adorable. But yeah, this game somehow reawakened that childhood wonderment I had when entering the Pokemon world for the first time. And I'm not even that much of a Digimon fan. Like, I played a Game Boy game way back, and I did watch the OG anime, and the one where there's some dude just straight up boxing Digimon. I also watched Digimon Try when the cast is a bit older, but everyone hates Tai now because he wants to be a bit more careful about how he fights. Bro, why are you being such a pushy, man?
Flashback. End of flashback.
But yeah, I'm not really the biggest fan, so I didn't know much about the evolution lines or gameplay styles of these games, which in turn made it all the more exciting. The one thing I will say that Digimon games have over other creature collector franchises is that the developers have never been averse to experimenting with their games, making each game feel like a genuinely unique experience. And I definitely felt that way with this game because I think a rival is Clair Obscur from my favorite game in 2025. And I just did a video on Clair Obscur. Please take a look at it if you haven't. But I generally enjoyed that game and felt that it deserved all of its accolades. I mean, there were articles that came out before the Game Awards even announced the nominees, stating that this was the obvious pick for Game of the Year. But somehow this game with an MC dressed in a stupid outfit hit me in the same way, especially when it came to the The main appeal for this game to me is the gameplay. It was generally very addicting to me. I really like how well the battles flow in this game. They always feel quick and don't draw on too much. I also like that the Digi-Attack option allows you to instant kill Digimon if there is a significant level difference. It makes grinding in the early game go very smoothly. I especially love how in-depth the systems of this game are, which includes a lot of quality of life options. For one, this is the only game I've seen where you can use an item and attack on the same turn. Also, there being a retry button helps with some of the battles, as well as the Digimon types and knowing what's effective against what. But then within those, there are also elemental advantages and disadvantages. There is a lot packed into this game, which can make it a bit hard for a newcomer. Now, the difficulty in this game does range depending on what you're facing, but it's relatively pretty fair. Again, depending on what you're facing, but I think the challenge adds to the fun of the game. For instance, the game has these boss battles that require you to think outside of the box. One particular battle that I remember is one where all your healing options are sealed as you take damage when performing any form of recovery. so you have to beat the boss without healing or finding an alternative method for healing in the game. You can definitely tell that these Digimon story games wear the SMT influence on their sleeve with how this game will make you suffer at times. But that's what drove me to keep playing this game just as much as I did Clear Obscure. And I haven't even been that into creature collecting games as much as late, outside of say Atlas games. I've been kinda out of it with Pokemon for a while, due to the quality of the games not really impressing me as of late. Not to say that all the games are bad, but in comparison to a game like this, the difference in quality is made glaringly apparent. Especially now that Pokemon has kind of been stagnant innovation when it comes to its games. Like I remember a time when you had games like Pokemon Tournament, Pokemon XD, Pokemon Coliseum, Pokemon Ranger, and of course Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, making the Pokemon games feel like they had a lot more variety to offer, which has kind of dwindled in the later years. However, in the case of Digimon, there's such variety in the amount of games available. You have the Digimon story games, which take on more of a traditional SMT-esque style of gameplay. You have Digimon Survival, which is more of a visual novel mixed with a tactical grid-based gameplay. And finally, Digimon Next World, which is more reminiscent to the classic Digimon World games with some more quality of life updates. Altogether, it just seems like the teams that work on the Digimon games are not afraid to experiment, and it shows with this game. This game has a very in-depth system with its evolution lines into which every Digimon could have so many different lines with varying degrees and abilities, making the process so fun because you never know what you're going to expect. Like, why does this goblin turn into a witch? Why does my bird turn into a woman? How does hideous thing become like this? Like, dude, I mean, I'm not complaining, you know, I'm just a little curious.
She kinda bad though.
But then you have another line of evolutions with arm evolutions. It can go even further with DNA fusion evolutions, man. The amount of customization in this game is staggering. Each Digimon comes with their own special moves, but they can add additional moves to help round out their kits. You can also change their personality traits to give them special bonuses and buffs in battle. Truly understanding all the utilities and aspects of combat for this game can be a bit overwhelming, but it was definitely an enjoyable experience for me. And hey man, if that's too much to understand, you can literally just shoot them joints. Also, all the Digimon have these really cool animations for their special attacks. Really shows how much care was put into this game. But going on to this topic, I gotta talk about the environments in this game are absolutely stunning. It was one of the reasons I wanted to play this game, as I saw them being shown in the trailer and was absolutely stunned. When I saw that they had decided to make a game using next-gen consoles, I knew that they were really trying to up the quality of their games, and it definitely shows. When you finally enter the Digimon world, you can really see the amount of detail that went into making this game. It's honestly just breathtaking, looking at how alive these places feel with all these Digimon running around and living their regular lives. I especially love how they also paid attention to how Digimon would interact with the world. For instance, there's this bar that you find in the first Digimon town. There you can find Shoutmon and Geckomon performing in the bar. Or when you go to the factory area, you can see the Digimon working in the factories. They all just feel so alive, and I just enjoy taking my time and going through them, especially in comparison to some of the more recent Pokemon games. They kind of leave me much to be desired. Not because I think they look bad, but they're kind of cutting back on their environments. Like when I think of environments, I'm reminded of Platinum, Soul Silver, and Black and White 2, with some of these breathtaking landscapes to traverse through. So when seeing the environments in the current games, especially in Pokemon ZA, it doesn't feel like they're being as creative as they used to be, especially when seeing Game Freak make a game like Beast Reincarnation. They definitely have the capabilities to make some beautiful landscapes. It's more of a product of having time to actually make what they want, which is why Digimon Time Stranger really has all these detailed environments. The game took around 7 to 8 years to make due to the team having to remodel all the previous Digimon from Cyber Sleuth, as well as the new ones that they added to this game, and they all look absolutely stunning. These environments are made even more lively with the OST of the game, like how in the factory zone you can hear the clanking of metal in the track, or how when you reach the Guardian's Palace, you can hear an organ being played in harmony with the angelic vocals, really giving the sense that this area is truly full of divine. The OST for this game was another thing that really surprised me when playing. It was just as good as Clair Obscure's in my opinion, but man, I don't think anything could clear Lumiere for me. Honestly, that one got me going. But the OST really does have some bangers, and that's to be expected as the composer is Masafumi Takada, who's done work on Cyber Sleuth, but also No More Heroes as well. And he's even done work on Danganronpa. But man, there's one last aspect of this game I haven't talked about yet, and that's the One of the things that helped me enjoy this game is the story. The unique thing about the Digimon in comparison to most creature collector games is that they have their own autonomy. They aren't dependent on whether the player character is there or not. They still live their own lives, make their own decisions, and have their own philosophies. As such, a lot of the motivations in this game often feel more natural in certain aspects. Like a lot of the time I would see a decision that a Digimon would make and just respond, oh, that's pretty reasonable. Most of their decisions, emphasis on most, has some pretty sound logic. I was honestly surprised when playing the story for this game. It isn't afraid to go into some dark themes and topics, but also having some pretty lighthearted moments. One of the core aspects for the story, according to the dev team, was making a story that highlights the bond between humans and Digimon. And through playing the game, it really shows that there is a lot in common and shared between both the humans and the Digimons. So much so that it makes you question what the difference between the two actually is. There was a lot of passion put into this narrative, especially in these little diorama scenes. The developers actually handcrafted the figures and set pieces, on top of having to make the actual game itself. Altogether, the story, while it can be a bit tropey at times as it does follow typical JRPG structure, it had me enthralled. It had me so engaged that I kept coming back to it, and overall, I enjoyed experiencing it.
Ah shit, here we go again.
Now, while I was singing this game's praises, there are a few things that make this game not as enjoyable in comparison to, say, Clair Obscur. For one, this game is more insistent on being more like a traditional JRPG, which has both pros and cons. The cons being that it falls into the same trappings that every JRPG follows, and that is the dreaded fetch quest. It's not too bad in the beginning, but a majority of the last few quests in the game are fetch quests. Like, one quest is you literally talking to this pink flying shithead who asks you to get some clean seawater for it to drink. So you go to the spot, grab the water, bring it back, and it complains that the water tastes gross. And of course it does. It's fucking seawater! Shut your stupid. But nah, instead of being reasonable, the game has you do this almost 8 times. Like, it is literally almost 40 minutes of just running back and forth to hear the same tired dialogue. It is absolutely mind-numbing. And that's not the only one you have to do this shit at, because you need to do these quests to get what are called anomaly points. Anomaly points are used to upgrade the stats of your Digimon, increase your agent rank to unlock more Digi-evolutions, and to unlock more cross-arts for battle. Let's touch on that real quick. So cross-arts are these little special abilities that happen when you build up this little meter in battle. Once the meter is full, you'll see a button prompt on when to unleash a cross-art. The cross-art is when you turn your Digivice into a gun and start firing at the enemies. But not only does it do damage, you can use it to add status effects, buffs, and even healing to your team. So it's very important in the game, so you have to do as many quests as you can. And when they're as tedious as some of these fetch quests, it generally takes the enjoyment out of it for me. This is especially true when considering the long grind that is associated with typical JRPGs. Now, I've played a bunch of JRPGs, so I'm used to the act of grinding, but I can never get past the feeling so mind-numbingly draining at times due to how repetitive it eventually gets. Especially when it comes to this game where you technically have to do 3 times the amount. This is due to the fact that with every Digi-evolution, your new Digimon gets reset to level 1, technically making it weaker than its previous form. Then when you consider the Champion, Ultimate, and Mega forms, that's a lot of eventual grinding. Now, there are some ways to subvert this, like with the load enhancements, but eventually you reach a stopgap with EXP unless you put in like another near 100 hours of grinding till you cap out a full party of max evolved Digimon, which to me is kind of crazy because the best way to level up is literally behind a paywall. Now, I did not purchase the Hall of EXP until I reached Mega Evolutions, which is essentially towards the end of the game. So I got it because if I play the regular way, I'll need another near 2 to 5 hours to max out my current party, if I'm lucky. But when I got the Hall of EXP, it only took me like 1 or 2 hours to not only max out my current party, but other Mega Digimon left in my box as well. Again, you don't have to get it to be able to max them out, but the amount of time it takes to reach near level cap is ridiculous, especially as someone with a pretty busy life schedule. The fact that this game had these options paywalled, it even has a season pass, shows that this game has the modern gaming trappings, and it's honestly disappointing. So how is it that even after this whole spiel, I'm still touting that this game is as equal if not better than Clair Obscur? Now, I'm not comparing these games based on the games themselves, as they are fundamentally different. Your enjoyment of either mostly comes down to personal preference. What I'm comparing is the amount of passion that oozes out of these games. Like, these guys made a whole anime preview for the game before it even came out. Even made this silly little old school trailer for the game that you see in like the early 2000s or some such. And do you see the amount of playtime I have on this game alone? It generally surprised me how invested I was to play this game to completion, and why wouldn't I be? This was a game that was a sleeper hit in 2025, as last year was chock full of amazing titles to play. However, this game kind of went under the radar, and for a game of this quality, I feel that it deserves more accolades. So I simply wanted to give this game some more love, and this was a game that I generally had fun playing. And I hope that if you do try it out, you can say the same. Once again, thank you for helping me reach 100 subscribers, man. I really didn't think, I didn't even know if I was going to continue doing this joint for real, but thanks to the love y'all showed on the last joint, I really wanted to keep pushing forward with this, man. I really want to keep creating more content, and I hope y'all just keep sticking around and enjoying it, bro. Once again, I hope y'all stay safe, and have a good one. Peace. Hold up. Before I forget, the music used in the intro, that is the intro with the title of the game popping out, was made by a band called Noxunus, and the song was titled Fortune. They're apparently a Japanese rock band based in Boston. Their music is really good, but they're severely underrated, so I'll post a link to their channel, and I hope y'all show them some love because, again, their music really slaps. All the other music used in the video, though, is from the Digimon game. So if you're interested in music and you like that and you want to try out the game, there is a demo that is available for you to try out. At least the first few hours you can try out on the PS5, Xbox, and on Steam. And it's also coming later this year to Switch too. But yeah, I do have some more videos planned to release during the year, but again, with work and other stuff, it's going to take me some time. I never want to rush anything out because I always want to produce quality videos, because I want to make stuff that y'all will enjoy and stuff that I'm proud to release for y'all. Got a couple big projects I want to try releasing this year. Again, that's going to take me some more time because they're pretty big. I'll sprinkle some smaller ones here and there, but I'll try to get everything out, as best as I can. But I'll always make sure that y'all will enjoy everything that I produce, because I always want to give y'all quality content. And I appreciate y'all showing love to it every single time, man. So hope y'all stay safe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.